Coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Hello and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marquez. Arnold Schwarzenegger makes his TV series debut as a trying-to-retire CIA operative until he gets an assignment with his daughter, who is Top Gun Maverick star Monica Barbaro.
You came along. What was the plan?
To kill all of you and then to leave.
And now, with all our guns out?
I'll manage.
You're the fastest 65-year-old white guy on the planet.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is a retiring CIA operative in the Netflix action series Fubar.
Now, since I'm retired, I'm going to bring my wife back. What's going to stop us?
15-year-old divorce papers?
She doesn't love you anymore?
Or finding out their daughter is also an operative. The series marks Schwarzenegger's TV series debut.
It's a much bigger challenge. No two ways about that. But it was fun because it was a story based on one of my favorite movies that I've done, True Lies. And so the idea of combining so much action with also so much comic relief was really fantastic.
You should end the marriage before you...
Do you think I'm a virgin?
Well, let me think what I want to think.
Oh my God, I'm 28.
We had a really fun time. We give each other a hard time a lot, which helped the, I think, father-daughter dynamic. We'd met a couple years prior, and by the time we were finally getting to shoot this, we just knew each other pretty well and could, like, tease each other and play and have fun, and keeping pretty much everything to the script, but still just, like, having a really good time with it.
That was her by lean arm. What?
Several years ago, Julia Louis-Dreyfus and James Gandolfini starred in a very sweet romantic comedy titled Enough Said. Now Julia is teaming up with the same director again in the new movie, You Hurt My Feelings.
Happy anniversary.
We're so lucky.
Yeah.
So, Elliot tells me you're a writer.
In your last one, it should have done better.
There's lots of new voices. Refugees, cancer, murder, abuse.
I'm an old voice.
You're the best voice.
You Hurt My Feelings is about a happily married couple. And the wife, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is a writer who's written a book that her husband secretly hates. And when she finds out, it flips their relationship on its head.
I think a lot of my personality is in this character. I'm maybe not quite as insecure as Beth is, but I brought a lot of my own experience as a woman who's been married for a number of years, as a mother of in my case, I have two sort of young adult boys, and what that is about. I come from a family of sisters. All of that was infused into this. And in addition to the fact that I'm a creative person, I'm not a writer per se, but I am somebody who puts myself out there in a personal way, and so I could relate to Beth's struggles in that sense.
And we talked about, actually, I was wondering whether the character of Beth could be an actress.
Right.
And we shot that down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You didn't want to play an actress.
No.
I'm aging.
What are you, nuts?
You get Botox?
Well, I just get a little bit right here. You know, I can still move my eyebrows. Watch, watch.
It's so expressive.
Come on, we'll go sneak up on him.
Can you say anything? No, I can't. It feels too late.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna throw up.
Okay, right here.
This cast is comfortable with their writer-director, Nicole Holofcener, who is just as honest with and hard on herself as she is her colleagues. She pours herself into her work, and this film centers around couples going through midlife questions and insecurities, funny and sad, and she wanted it to feel true.
You know what? As an actor, Mark isn't always great.
So the times when you don't think he's good, what do you say to him?
You were so fantastic.
Really?
She is every character in this movie. I would say there's an element of her that is every single character. And on top of that, she is so open to a good idea. And then if something is not a good idea, she has no compunction about being like, ooh, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And it's still endearing and funny, and you're like, okay, I just thought I would try it. She's like, no, it made me kind of sad because it was so bad. You're like,
Even with her own lines. Nicole, we're in scenes, and she's like, don't say that. I was like, well, you wrote it. She's like, don't say that. That's not good. I was
yes,
like, oh, okay,
exactly.
yeah.
Her self-deprecation as well.
I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, hilarious.
It's in theaters now. Now let's take a look at Taylor Swift's new deluxe version of Midnights, and Dungeons & Dragons is out on 4K HD DVD and Blu-ray now.
Swifties rejoice. A deluxe version of her latest album, Midnights, is out with new material. Midnights Till Dawn Edition features a remix of Karma with Ice Spice and a new longer version of Snow on the Beach with more vocals from Lana Del Rey.
We're thieves, but we help the wrong person steal the wrong thing and unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known.
Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves proved to be a hit with audiences and critics alike. Co-director John Francis Daly says the cast and crew wanted to capture the spirit of playing the iconic game it was based on.
What we knew we had was a fundamental understanding of what makes D&D so special. And it's not just the gameplay mechanics. It's not just the silly, unique creatures or the worlds. It's that spirit of playing and that sense of fun and whimsy and constantly thinking on your feet that I think was very appealing to people. And they saw their own campaigns when they were watching.
The fantasy adventure film arrives on 4K HD Blu-ray and DVD today.
Okay, chop it off.
Chop it off. Let's do it.
Summer movie season is underway, and June is shaping up to be a very busy month for movie fans. From The Flash to Indiana Jones, we're running down 5 of the biggest films heading to theaters this month.
Who do you think you are? Really?
June at the movies kicks off when Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse swings into theaters Friday.
For centuries, our kind has stayed hidden on Earth.
But not anymore, as the Maximals are ready for their robotic close-ups in Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. The more than meets the eye machines stomp into theaters June 9th.
Oh my God! Flash!
Hi.
I love you!
The Scarlet Speedster gets a big screen adventure in The Flash. The long-awaited superhero flick features not one, but 2 Batmen and speeds into movie theaters June 16th.
Junior stargazers and space cadets. Each year we celebrate Asteroid Day, commemorating September 23rd, 3007 BC, when the arid plains meteorite made Earth impact.
Wes Anderson's Asteroid City premiered at Cannes in May, opening in limited release June 16th, and making impact with theaters across the country June 23rd.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on a train during the war. A dial that could change the course of history.
The Man in the Hat is back as Harrison Ford returns in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The 5th Indiana Jones movie arrives in theaters June 30th.
I cannot wait to see it either. Now, animators have long said 2 of the toughest things to animate are fire and water. You can judge for yourself how the artists managed it in the upcoming animated adventure Elemental.
Whoa. How'd you do that?
It's the minerals. Check this out.
Awesome!
Pixar has released the first clip from Elemental. Fire and water meet and are transformed in the animated adventure as Ember and Wade try to make their unlikely relationship work. Elemental opens June 16th.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete?
In the 1989 original Little Mermaid, Ariel is voiced by Jodie Benson, and eagle-eyed fans noticed her cameo in the live-action remake. As Ariel visits a market, she is handed a fork, aka a dinglehopper, by a friendly merchant, who is Jodie Benson herself, passing the torch, or rather, the dinglehopper.
I want to be where the people are.
Halle Bailey says she loves getting the stamp of approval from the original Ariel.
That's so validating to the little girl within me because the work that she did is iconic. It's the soundtrack to all of our lives. So as a musician and singer, I felt like I was respecting what was already there, but also breathing sort of like this new perspective and new life into the original songs that we all know and love.
Strolling along down a, what's that word again? Street.
And have a look at this. Halle Bailey went undercover to catch the movie opening night in disguise. She put on a mask and sunglasses, bought some popcorn, and watched the film with an unsuspecting audience. Then she posted this video to her social media accounts, showing her millions of followers how she managed to blend in with the crowd. The live-action version of The Little Mermaid looks like it takes place under the sea, but in reality, the actors filmed their underwater scenes up in the air, and one of them had a close call. Director Rob Marshall tells Entertainment Weekly Javier Bardem, who plays King Triton, had a scary moment. He dropped 15 feet while suspended at least 40 feet off the ground. Thankfully, the crew was able to keep him in the air. So now we know to achieve those underwater effects, the actors were hooked up to harnesses and dangled up and down. More than half of the filming process was done this way. I hear they worked out a lot. Now it makes sense. When we come back, movie critic Gray Drake is joining us to talk about what's new in theaters this weekend and similar movies you can find on Paramount+. Welcome back to The Lot. Movie critic Gray Drake is here to talk about so many fun things. There's a new horror flick in theaters and Paramount Plus movies that will also scratch that scary itch. Gray, I'm so excited you're here because you love horror movies. I do too.
Oh yes, I'm a total creep.
That's exactly perfectly put. So let's talk about the movie that is coming out in theaters now.
Okay, so The Boogeyman is an adaptation of a Stephen King short story, but they're taking some liberties with it, and what they ended up with is Sophie Thatcher, who was in Yellow Jackets, and she and her younger sister are seeing a lot of uncomfortable things around their house. It just keeps getting creepier and creepier, and this is that kind of movie that's going to stay with you late at night when you're trying desperately to sleep.
Like you might double check underneath your bed.
And then triple check, because it is a creepy movie. I loved it.
I love that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there any movies that it's similar to?
Okay, so over on Paramount Plus, we've got the latest Scream film.
Oh, I love that one.
Right? And
yes.
I loved that one too. And the reason is, it is the best Scream movie in that franchise since the very first one.
Oh, that's a big... That's a big achievement.
It really is, because they've done so many things with that franchise, but in Scream 6, they moved it to a new location. So you've got Jenna Ortega that we love in the Wednesday series on Netflix, and she is in New York City running from Ghostface like usual with really great kills, very fun jokes, and I dare you to figure out who is the bad guy in this one. You're not going to.
Okay, that's a great tease. So what else can we compare it to?
Well, I was excited to see that Scream is also on Paramount Plus because
the OG.
Because back in the 90s, that movie completely reinvigorated the horror movie genre. It had been struggling, and horror movies can be made or broken by the fact that their first scene needs to be intense.
Oh, absolutely. We will never forget the iconic first scene of Scream.
That's exactly the word that I'm thinking of, is iconic. There's so many great things in Scream, so it's really fun to revisit because 90s horror is excellent. And there's tons of it on Paramount Plus, actually, because another movie that's available is Halloween H2O.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, yes. And the reason that movie's interesting is because Jamie Lee Curtis came back to the franchise when she'd been gone for a long time, and they had really gone a lot of places with Michael Myers, but back to the core cast, and she's the headmistress of a school. So it's very odd.
Yeah.
It's kind of out of nowhere that she has this job, but Laurie Strode is suffering from a lot of trauma from what happened.
And that makes sense.
Exactly. She's raising a young son played by Josh Hartnett, and we see a lot of other really great familiar faces like Michelle Williams and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and there's some great kills in that movie. sort of a weird phrase to use, and I kind of regret it.
No, because we love those memorable ways that people die in movies. That's what makes it so fun, because there's something that makes you laugh because it's uncomfortable, it's scary, but it's also a way of being over the top.
Exactly. And there's like Michael Myers uses hockey skates in a way that people should never use hockey skates in this movie. And so it was really fun to revisit. I loved 90s horror for that reason. Jamie Lee Curtis is great as always, and those themes pop up in the latest Halloween movies because trauma is really something that she cared about as an actress. Laurie Strode had a lot of it, and sharing her journey was important for her with audiences. So it comes up later, but in the meantime, is Josh Hartnett in the 90s. Like,
so cute.
Yes.
The best years of Josh Hartnett.
Love
and
it.
Michelle Williams, it's almost like she was a baby back then.
Totally. And then when you think about all the twists and turns their careers have taken, like Michelle Williams, nominated for Oscars, like she's a really sensational actress. And starting in horror was a lot of fun. Even if it might not have turned out so great for her character in the movie, it turned out pretty great for her in real life.
And you know what? Look at Drew Barrymore in the first Scream.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the great thing about Scream. They just have so many talented cast members that they're just killing left and right. And when you see them pop up in other things, you're just glad that it's all make-believe.
Exactly. Well, great. It's such a treat to have you here. I can't wait to have you back.
Oh, I can't wait. I promise I'll be a little less creepy.
Oh, I love it. No, we'll do a totally different theme next week.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you, Gray. And we will be right back with a one-on-one with Nightmare Before Christmas composer Danny Elfman, speaking of creepy, which we love, and some Hollywood headlines. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some Hollywood headlines. Did you hear about this? Harry Styles broke the record for the country's biggest selling stadium show. Murrayfield Stadium says more than 65,000 people watched him perform his Love on Tour show last Saturday. The previous record at the stadium is One Direction, his old band, who had 64,000 fans at a show back in 2014. Shania Twain took the stage at the Hollywood Bowl for the first time in nearly 25 years. And no surprise, there were some pretty big names in the crowd. Kristen Bell and her husband, Dax Shepard, shared this video from the concert and said there was, quote, a really nice rando sitting behind them, in case you can't make it out. That's Tom Hanks right between them. His wife, Rita Wilson, was there too. So the night turned out to be a double day for the couples. And even though the concert looked pretty epic, nothing beats a Tom Hanks photobomb. As the world continues to discuss the Succession series finale, Brian Cox is sharing heartfelt thoughts about his time playing Logan Roy for HBO's Emmy-winning drama. He posted on his Instagram stories on Monday to express his appreciation for the show's cast and crew. He wrote, "We have now come to the end, and what has been, in my career, certainly the greatest work experience ever. The harmony between cast and crew was truly amazing, and it was on its way to become a great series. But the love and commitment from cast and crew and writers made it memorable." 2.9 million people tuned into the show Sunday night when it debuted the series finale after 4 seasons. This marks the show's largest audience ever, a 5% improvement from its previous record of 2.75 million viewers set by episode 6 of season 4, which aired on April 30th. A female-led version of The Office is set to begin production in Australia. In this franchise, we will see middle management led by a woman and will play on Amazon Prime Video. In a post-COVID twist, the head office tells their branch they'll be shutting down and staff will have to work from home. The boss, played by Felicity Ward, goes into survival mode, making promises she can't keep and launches outlandish plots in order to keep her work family together. This is the 13th iteration of the show. There are others in France, Canada, Chile, Israel, and the Middle East. The Warner Brothers superhero movie The Flash is in theaters June 16th and has been scrutinized amid its star's erratic behavior. The actor has admitted to complex mental health issues amidst a string of arrests and accusations by parents of Ezra Miller allegedly grooming their children. In a recent podcast, filmmaker Andy Muschietti said if there is a sequel to the film, Ezra would be in it, and said he doesn't think anybody can play the character as well as Ezra. Last year, Miller was arrested twice in Hawaii in March for disorderly conduct and harassment at a karaoke bar, and again in April for second-degree assault after allegedly throwing a chair at a woman in a private residence. Okay, changing gears here. Famed composer Danny Elfman stopped by our studios to chat with The Lot's Jamie Yuccas.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Oh my goodness, so many classics in there. That's the music of legendary composer and recording artist Danny Elfman. And Danny has just announced 2 upcoming SoCal concerts titled From Boingo to Batman to Big Mess and Beyond. Did I get that right? Because that is a tongue twister.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, you got it.
So tell us about it.
I mean, it was a show that I conjured up last year for Coachella.
Okay.
And it didn't make any sense at all. It was mixing everything up in this crazy way. And I was sure it was the worst idea ever, but it kind of went over okay. And then we repeated it, extended it at the Hollywood Bowl last Halloween. And bringing back for a few more.
What an iconic spot to somewhat launch it.
Yeah.
It must have been amazing.
It was amazing, yeah, it was.
You have so many, I think it's so funny because we keep talking about the same, you hear This Is Halloween, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Simpsons, but when I went through your list, you've got everything from Beetlejuice, Mars Attacks, Men in Black, Big Fish, Corpse Bride, Good Will Hunting, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Spider-Man. I mean, what haven't you done?
I don't know. I could come back with a clever quip with that, but then I'll insult somebody. So I won't say
Don't
anything.
insult anyone.
Yeah.
But when I look through there's so many really classics for people, and there's so many quirky directors who you've been able to work with.
Yeah.
What has that been like?
I don't know. I mean, it just made sense for me, working with guys like, Tim Burton and Sam Raimi and Gus Van Sant multiple times. They're just all normal people to me. And so I guess we're all kind of quirky and
we're all a little weird.
A little weird, yeah.
I think what I love is that I love people who embrace the weird. Like, I feel like I'm weird. I love people who embrace the weird because that's what makes us all special.
Yeah, and some of us have no choice.
Yeah.
Some of us were born weird and we'll spend our lives weird, so it's like we have to embrace it.
Just go with it.
What's the other alternative? I have no idea.
That's what I always thought was interesting reading about The Nightmare Before Christmas, that Disney originally didn't really love the movie because kids were scared of it.
The kids were scared of it. When it first came out, we previewed it, but of course this was a preview of an unfinished movie for a bunch of small kids who were probably expecting The Little Mermaid.
Right, yeah.
I mean, Jack
Not quite.
Skellington. They didn't know what to make of it, and everybody just said, oh, this is a disaster. But it took a decade.
Yeah. And now it's like one of their biggest, highest grossing movies, I think.
I just love the fact that generation after generation of little kids keep coming, and people keep sending me videos of their kids singing songs, and that when it came out, they said, kids will hate this.
Yeah.
But kids don't hate
No,
it.
they love it.
And so that's what feels so,
that touches your heart,
me.
yeah. I know you play so many instruments. What can people expect at these shows?
A real mosh-up of stuff, because it's like stuff from 30, 40 years ago. It's stuff from my new album 2 years ago, and it's film music all wrapped up in like I said, a way that made no sense whatsoever. Literally, before I walked out there on Coachella, I thought, I'm walking into a train wreck of my own design. I designed a train to speed along the track, and I know that it's going off a cliff, but I did it anyhow. So, all right, here it goes.
Well, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
I have to ask you before you go, what music do you listen to? What inspires you?
I listen to so much different stuff because I split my year between classical music. I still do a classical commission every year, film music, and now back to rock and roll. So I'm mixing it up all the time. I listen to equal amounts of Nine Inch Nails and Shostakovich.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know.
Yeah, you just revealed you had a birthday 2 days ago. You're a Gemini. Is that we're watching the different personalities come out?
Yeah, very much so.
I love that.
Such a great interview. I adore Danny Elfman. And who can compare Shostakovich to anything modern? Chef's kiss. That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Suzanne Marquez. See you again next week on The Lot.